Well, here we are at the White Sands Missile Range Museum and Air Park. We are right inside the White Sands Missile Range, as you can see. We had to do a background check, ID check to come in here. And we are 127 miles south of Trinity. That Ground Zero video, if you watch that, the first nuclear explosion, that's still in the same missile range, but we're 127 miles south of that. Again, this place is, I think it's 225, 250 square miles, this entire missile range. So that's pretty cool. So we're gonna head on over there and check it out.
A few moments later.
This is the museum part of it. So let's go ahead and check this out and see what they got. The story of White Sands Missile Range. Guess we'll go this way. Okay, I'm looking to see which way you're supposed to go in the timeline. Oh, there. We are going around. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, I guess we're just talking military so far. Some sunset. Train depicting the Hembrillo battlefield. U.S. Army positions. Okay, so this is us fighting the Indians. So we can take their land and build a missile range. Here we go.
World War II in Mexico.
Wow, I was expecting the museum a little different than this. Different. Hey, I can see it. There's Teller right there. There's Teller, there's Oppenheimer, there's Groves. Which one's Teller? Which one's Teller?
The one with the funky eyebrows. So,
Leo Szilard, Groves, Oppenheimer, Enrico Fermi, Teller, oops, and
Kaiser.
that one's not ringing a bell. Hans Bethe. Yeah, recognize those names. Yeah, nuclear fusion.
And of course, Oppenheimer
Yeah.
with his cigarette in his hand.
Yeah. Where did it go this way? Okay, so let's go this way. Okay, so they got some training base camp. Test. Of course, you'll recognize some of this if you watch our Trinity video. This is kind of cool. Came from the same place.
It's like a little
The gadget. The gadget. Yeah. Got some German V2 rockets going on after the war. They actually have a V2 rocket here that we captured or got once the Germany surrendered. It's in another building over here, and it's actual. I think it was. I mean, I don't think they put it back together. I think it was already the condition that it's in is the way they brought it back here. Here's some V2 rocket development, and we brought this stuff back and started playing with it. Here's some right here. Yeah. Oh, check it out. Here's a nuclear bunker stuff. Drinking water, sanitation kit, that's a toilet. You take the lid off, there's a plastic lid that goes on the top of it. It's got crystals you dump down into it. Where'd the arrows go? There's, so it might be over there, dear. They had arrows directing you so you stayed in the right timeline, but I kind of lost him, so I guess we're just gonna look for cool shit. Oh, here's some cool shit. Stinger missile. And it's a Stinger launcher. Missile's this guy right here. That looks like a tow missile there. This guy on the left. Boy, it's been so long. That's the Dragon. The M47 Dragon. And that, when I was in the Army, they had those. And we had the tow missiles. Right here, that's a tow missile right there, wire guided. Right there. They had those when I was in. Had the Dragon. Pretty cool. Extended range guided munition as a rocket assisted naval munition. Wow. This is a Sparrow missile. I guess people don't realize the size of these things, but they carry those underneath pods on the wings. They don't look that big. Because you got your Sidewinder, which is your short range, your Sparrows, I think, were your, intermediate range, and your, what was the long range? The Hellfire, no, that was a tank. Phoenix, no, that was a nuclear one. Now there's one more that was for the long range. Anyway, this is the medium range. Wow. Didn't realize how really big those were. Alright, we're going to walk around this way. Oh, launch control facility. For nuclear. For test missions used at the Stallion range. Oh, regardless of what's we're controlled by similar consoles. Oh, okay. So still a launch console. Doesn't matter what you were launching. Very similar to the same consoles. Interesting. Here's the electro-optical tracking system built in Switzerland. Check this guy out. So you can track them. Super high, powerful telescope. Yeah, well, we got some dude over here. What's he's launching? First used at White Range. Mid-range control near Holloman Air Force Base. Vega Target Control System. That's what this is. Vega Target Control System. It plotted everything on that. Whoa. That's crazy. Man, ballistic camera. non-nuclear explosions. Oh, look at these drones. Oh, there you go. Those are the things you get behind. I don't think we would fit. I think they're more for the kiddies. What do we got here? Model of the large blast thermal simulator. I think I got a glare on it somewhere. Let's go up. Like, where's this thing at? Similarly, the explosive and thermal effect materials might receive a nuclear blast. Showing the MLRS, multiple launch rocket system.
Darth Vader's mask.
Oh, here's a Stinger missile. We just saw those. Oh, he flinched. And that's a F-102 Delta Dart, Dagger Dart. No, Dagger. Oh, what is it? Heh. Here's a Pershing missile. It's pretty crazy. Sit there and watch all the missiles take off. That'd be kind of neat. So, like he says, I lost track of where we were, but I think we're done, aren't we? Because the arrows stop right here. Okay, well, let's wander around here. If we missed anything, we'll put it on here. If not, we will catch you up outside. All right, well, check this one out. This is where they got the V2 rocket. They built this building just for this guy. So let's go ahead and go in there and take a look at this thing. Check that out. And it's a lot bigger than you would think, or at least bigger than what I thought it would be. Look at some of the guidance in there. I think they got some history over here on the other side of it, telling you about it and how it came here. Stay there. Check this out. Kim found a warm spot, so she's hanging out over there. All right, let's see, where are we going? Preparing for the first successful launch of a V2 rocket at White Sands. Yeah, so we brought a bunch of these things over. There we go. There's Goddard, father of modern rocketry, near Roswell. So at the close of World War II, obviously I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. Here, I'll go real slow if you want to pause it. But there's one thing I wanted to point out. At the close of World War II, German rocket scientists who knew of Goddard's work were surprised their American interrogators knew so little. Wow. That is amazing. That just, it's amazing. They followed his work, came up with this shit. We capture him and interrogate him and they go, well, we followed your Goddard. They're like, who the hell's Goddard? Oh, this guy in Roswell that had been making rockets his whole life? Yeah, here's some stuff about, there we go. Okay, well, I'm not gonna read it all to you. It talks about Goddard again. Wow. All right, check this out, man. That is crazy. Look at this tank propulsion. And another one right there. Tell you what, man, those friggin' Germans, they got some shit going on. Yeah, it's lucky because in a few more years, the stuff they were developing, the jets, the rockets and everything, the guns. Here we go, V2s to New Mexico. In August 1945, almost 300 railroad freight cars of captured V2 components arrived in New Mexico. Wow. But yeah, their technology was so much higher with all the scientists they had. If it wasn't, man, if they were preparing for a couple more years, we probably wouldn't be speaking English right now. Those guys had some shit going on. Just needed, like I said, a couple more years and they would have got that stuff perfected, and yep, that would have been the end of it. There's the side panels they took off. Check that out. Navigation system. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the only V2, I think, the only intact V2 in the United States, I believe. All right. All right, so now we're going to head on out into the, well, Kim's probably going to go there and warm up a little bit. And the wind's blowing pretty crazy out. But we're going to go through the missile park and see what they got. So coming into the missile park at White Sands. All right, so good thing they got a lot of placards, because a lot of this stuff, I'm not sure, obviously. Well, shouldn't say obviously, but yeah. There's the old Patriot missile battery system. Here's a Pershing II on its mobile launch facility. All set up. Let's get some from back here before we get too close. They're hard to see. If it flies, it dies. Scudbuster, if you guys remember, especially the Gulf War, that's where, I think that was the first time we were using these operationally, I believe. Yeah, there's a Fat Man Bob casing. So this is the size of the one that went over Nagasaki. Because the first one was Little Boy. This was the implosion plutonium type. So that's the one that blew up Nagasaki. Nagasaki. What do we got here? We got a Hermes A1. It was a American version of the German anti-aircraft missile. Okay. Looks like we got another. Boy, I'm not really sure if they got a. Here's Igor. Intercept ground optical recorder. Okay, that's kind of like the bigger one of the one we just saw on the inside. They kind of put some of this stuff that kind of doesn't have a little rhyme or reason, huh? Yeah. It's kind of like, hey, there's a spot for it. Let's just throw something there. There's another tracking telescope. Electric. I'm reading the sign, by the way, not that I'm just this brainy guys. Electro-optical tracking system. Which did we see? Oh, we saw one of these at that other museum we was at, that we went to. Remember that round one?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. It's just theirs is actually up on a little stand. Yeah, what was that? The Museum of Space History. Or Space History Museum. But yeah, they had one of these there. I remember seeing it. Oh. Oh, it's a pack rocket. I mean, it's packed up in there, and you just kind of like something like this. And so you can take something like this. This MLRS right there. So this guy goes up and launches this shit, and then you just take this third pack and drop it right on there and continue on. Multiple launch rocket systems. Got us some artilleria. What do we got? It looks like some kind of drone. What is it? Radio plane. A subscale radio controlled. Yeah, it was a target drone. Yeah, howitzer. That's what this guy is, artillery. That'd be Mr. Howitzer. Oh, the Roland missile. I remember that guy. He was around when I was in the Army. They were still, not that we used them, that I remember. But I remember hearing about the Roland missile. That's, I think that was called the Copperhead. Was the first successful cannon-launched missile. Yeah, you gotta keep going back and forth here. SAGME, surface attack guided missile. Surface, fuming nitric acid, do not puncture. Yoki dokie. Oh, that looks like we'll get to that in a minute. SRAM, short range attack missile. I guess, I don't know. Boy, that's weird. That's a missile. And looks more like a friggin' payload bomb. And then, of course, we saw this earlier inside. There's a TOW missile. Tube launch, optically tracked, wire guided. Looks like we got some anti-aircraft going on over here. Hey, we were in those on the oh, what was that battleship?
USS.
Oh, Alabama? Alabama, yeah. Guided missile launcher. Boy, yeah. I see that they mean.
They need to redo the sign.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, those were for the Navy. Yeah, we were on that. Was that the 5-inch guns? I'm trying to remember. Was it the 5-inch? Because remember we went inside those?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll go around this way and then we'll head back there because there's no, not that I can see anyway. So we had the TOW missile there. Oh, Honest John. I remember those. Honest John. Because I think he had a big John. I think he had a few Johns. Oh, yeah, there's Little John right behind him. Little John. Ooh, that's a 2-stager. Big dude. So the way we're going here, it's like, are we walking backwards? But they don't tell you. Athena. That was this guy we just saw here. Was used to test intercontinental ballistic missile re-entry vehicles. Okay. And whoop, falling off my feet here. Hey, the wind's. Oh, I shouldn't have said the word. That's a Pershing missile. The other one was a Pershing 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
The first one we saw was a Pershing 2, I think, and this is the original Pershing. Yeah.
Shalanigan?
Sheila was the first gun-launched guided missile.
There's only 1
Surface to
mile.
surface. Eh. Yeah, I think the sun kind of killed this. That's a, don't know the name of it together, but that's a Pershing, I think, on top of there. Well, we're gonna think that that's what that says. Wow. Of course, we already know what this looks like, but we have to see what it is, because what the hell are they doing with that thing? Well, we'll never know. How the
Balloon launch.
deceleration test
test
vehicle. Okay, well, it kind of was a little readable. You know, it's almost like we're supposed to be walking the other way.
I'm thinking on how it works, but it's just no rhyme or reason.
Because we're just kind of walking backwards on it from these signs. I don't know.
You do your own thing.
Yeah. Keep off displays. Yeah. Hound dog. I was gonna say that, I really was. I remember these two. Not that I was involved in these, I just remember them. They were from my time frame. Yeah, I did. I said the W word, and here it is. I don't know what these are. Oh. Pogo and Rogo.
No, Pogo and
That's Rogo. Oh,
Pogo.
oh, it's okay. It's some damn missile that we don't have a clue to tell you what it is. Here's a shave tail. Unguided rocket used as a research vehicle. Okay. Jeez, what is that, dude? Oh, Redstone. I remember this about know of. Ooh, that's a doozy. Yeah. This is a drone. QX4. I know that because it says it on the tail. See? QX4 drone. Boy, look how old and... Yeah, these are target drones. If there was a way you're supposed to walk this, I really wish they would have started it, because then maybe the signs would be in front of us. I don't know. It sure seems that way. But that's okay, we still get to see everything. You might get dizzy, might be me flipping back and forth. There's a Nike Hercules right there. If you guys remember those, if you saw the video when we were in Florida, we went to Nike Missile Base. Yeah, that was pretty cool. What is this, a Sergeant? Yeah, oh yeah, there's Sergeant up there. It's got a rank on it. The Sergeant missile, okay.
That's Mace.
That's Mace. A lot of these are...
Nike Hercules, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Little John.
Little John.
Firebee. No, that just looks like a regular plane.
Yeah, I think it's probably some kind of drone. Yeah, target drone.
This is a dart.
Those are just drones. Something they fly in the air so that we can practice, you know, shooting it down with missiles and stuff. You know, simulating planes and other whatnot things that need to be shot down.
Redhead runner target drone.
The drone anti-submarine helicopter. Oh, check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, more drones. Got a F4 back there in the background.
Crossbow.
Oh, he was something different. As an anti-radar missile. So he's trying to hone in on some radar. Wow, see, that's another thing. If you guys remember, let's see, once we get around there. On this guy right here. Wow.
Sidewinder.
So remember I was telling you the Sidewinder inside was like your close-in support on the planes, and then the Sparrow was your secondary. Look how, I mean, even the size of that Sidewinder, that's usually the guy that's hanging on the ends of the wings. And then the Sparrows would be underneath the wings, and I think it was the Phoenix. Yeah, I think the Phoenix was the long range. But yeah, just the size of, you don't realize the size of them when you just see it in magazines and TV. And of course the Hercules. What does this guy here do?
He's the maid.
Yeah, but what does he do? Surface-to-surface winged cruise missile. Boy, that's interesting looking. Lacrosse. Is that say? Yeah, Lacrosse. What is he hauling around? Navy project transferred to the Army. Attempted to find a short-range guided missile which could be used by the Marine Corps. Okay, so the Navy's doing it. Army took over it for the Navy. I mean, for the Marine Corps. Okay.
The SS-11.
SS-11, a French anti-tank missile, which was used by the U.S. to train gunners for anti-tank operations. Look at that BB little missile. Well, I guess anti-tank, you know, you're looking at those TOW missiles. Okay. You think you've got go aheads in your shoes? Yep. I had 2 of them that came out. Well, here's a missile, guys, but I can't give you the name, so sorry. He was trying to get some go aheads out of the bottom of your shoes. That's because we walked off the concrete. There's another Little John sitting on its rail. We got to look at this one. Corporal missile. Oh, we had the Sergeant missile over there. Here's the Corporal. That's the Corporal missile. Designed to travel beyond the atmosphere at supersonic speeds. And it carried a high explosive or nuclear warhead with 70. That guy has only 75 miles of range.
Holy cow. Really?
Only 75 miles. That's crazy. Well, it's probably because it's super old, you know, the fuel and stuff we had back then. We didn't have the technology.
The MG3 Little John.
Yeah, we had a Little John over there. Is over there. This one here's on the rail. Did you get them all out of there?
Oh.
Here's Honest John. Whoa, wait a minute. Honest John was a simple free flight rocket as opposed to a guided missile. It carried an atomic or high explosive warhead. Free flight rocket. So you just pointed in the direction you wanted to go and launched it?
Apparently.
And you put a nuclear tip on it? Makes sense to me. Lockheed Dart. A very popular low-cost meteorological sounding rocket. I'm trying to read it. It's one of those. What was the point of it? Used to gather weather information. Okay. See, sometimes you kind of know what it does. Just because it goes up there doesn't mean it always explodes or just trying to shoot something down, I guess.
Payload. Aerobee 350.
There's a Huey. Got to the chopper! That looks like is that a Beechcraft here on the right? We don't know. I think that's okay, so apparently we were supposed to walk straight coming through there, and we took a right. If we would have went straight, I think that would have actually made the entire route. Okay, so if you're watching this, go straight. Don't hang a right. Because apparently we just learned something. Anyway, I think that's probably the end of it. We're going to head back out because we still got some couple hours of driving to do. And plus we got to go check out here at security too. So we got to get back to the vehicle. So hope you liked that adventure here at the White Sands Missile Museum and Missile Park at the White Sand Missile Range. And until our next adventure, say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Yeah, that's all, folks.